welcome to another episode of Westwood Open House. Anthony Nguyen, my partner.
Donovan DC Carter in the building.
Man, this week we're at my office over here at Woodland Hills, and this episode is brought to you by Williams Homes, of course. Next week we'll be shooting over there at Williams Ranch again. DC, tough game to watch.
Yeah, definitely was a tough game to watch. But you know, it's early in the season. We're 1-1. I had positive vibes that we would go undefeated, but you know, it's not realistic. Shout out to Indiana. They played a hell of a game, prepared for us. It's crazy. We had a bye week, a couple extra weeks, but it's tough sometimes with the bye. I think sometimes you over-prepare sometime, and you kind of lose your momentum. But, you know, we had a couple good drives. We had a couple brief highlights. It just, you know, it's tough the first possession you get, you fumble like that, you know, and that was just bad timing, man. TJ elbow hit the ball, and the ball just went right to the defensive lineman as well. But, you know, football things kind of have to go your way, and it really didn't go our way in the beginning. And it just hard you down 14-0. Indiana, that's what they do. They score points. They scored 77 points the week before. And it's just hard to like catch up to things like that when you're behind.
To the Bruins' defense, the kids played hard. You know, they played hard. To what Coach Foster was saying, the positive note was there's no bickering on the sidelines. There's no blaming. It's a team sport. Everyone took accountability. Mm-hmm. But the same token, I think came down to execution. Yeah. You know, I was at practice, probably the whole week, and one thing that I did see was the kids were executing. You know, the Bruins were executing on practice, but it didn't translate during the game.
Yeah, it's tough, and I think that's what's frustrating. I remember when I was a player, like, you had a good week of practice, you was prepared, you did your film studies, but it just, you know, that's just how the game is. You know, you win some, you lose some, but man, you live to fight another day, and we got to move on. We got to learn from this. We got hit in the mouth. We just now we play LSU. Now we got to come back, and when we win that game, all that stuff kind of, you know, you forget about Indiana.
You know, I want to talk about the positive stuff too. I like how TJ came out, ran hard.
Yes.
You know, he broke for a couple runs that were just, you know, TJ looked in top tip shape.
Yes.
That fumble, you know, I think it just, you know, one of the things that just happened in football.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Man. It just happened, man. It's like when people run into each other and stuff like that. But yeah, man, TJ ran hard. Ethan, you know, he had some good plays. Made a few mistakes, couple things, but yeah, you know, defense made some plays. We just got to get off the field on third down. That was one of the big issues for us, because it's heartbreaking when it's third down and they convert. Now they got a fresh set of downs. Yeah. But the running game looked a whole lot better. Yep. Gotta find a way to get, you know, I think our pass game a little bit better, but you know, Ethan's getting better, man. We're gonna get it together. We're gonna get it together. I believe in our team. I believe in Coach Foster. I believe in everything we're doing. It's early. We only 1-1. It isn't like we're 0-5. You know, thank God. But we got a tough schedule. We do have a tough schedule.
But to Ethan's credit, when he wrote that 20-yard run, Ethan has seen the field. Let's give the guy some credit here. Ethan has seen the field.
He looked fast too, man. Ethan got some wheels, man. I like E. He's a good player, man. Good Bruin. Yep. He just, you know, things happen, man. You know, a little perseverance, but we gotta keep it going. We gotta keep it going, y'all. Bruin fans, man, stay with us. Yeah. This is just one game, man. Coach Foster, we gonna get it right. We gonna get it right, and I'd rather us see that early in the season than later on to figure out what we got to work on. And you got to learn from your mistakes. It's one of those games, and sometimes the game plan doesn't go as is planned. But we just got to make adjustments and come out and figure it out and execute.
I agree. You know, let's take you to that clip that Coach Foster is talking about, the positive stuff from that takeaway from that game. Coach, any positive takeaways taking this into the LSU game?
Just the way that they continued to fight. You know, it wasn't guys weren't out there quitting, and they weren't out there bickering at each other. There wasn't nobody fighting within the team. So it's just a learning experience. You have to learn from losses. You can't just act like it's just going to go away. So just like I told them in there, we got to learn from this loss, and I'm just happy that we have another opportunity to keep playing.
So that's what Coach Foster was talking about, being There wasn't bickering on the sideline. It was all positive, right?
Yeah.
So,
which I think that's important. You don't want to see, you want to see competition, friendly competition, but fighting and all that, it doesn't do anything. It really just divides your team. So I like that we held our composure. We took it on the chin, and just one of them days.
DC, was there any tough losses when you were playing that were similar to the Indiana game that you guys kind of regrouped and the next week was a little bit better?
Yeah, for sure. We always had those we always Stanford, sometime the Arizonas, but it's always them games. It's always those games that you think that we should win or we're favored, and even times when I got done where we would get to the top and then we had them games and we just didn't show up. But it's just one of them things, man. It just happens. It happens, and it's a long season. Injuries happen. Teams is getting your film and they figuring out your tendencies and figuring out your habits. But you just have to move on and get ready for the next game and play. It's just a challenge. For me, I would be like, okay, I gotta play better myself. You gotta look at yourself in the mirror and figure out what you can do and how you can help this team out.
One thing I do notice about this Bruins squad is it's a family.
Yes.
Everybody roots for everybody. I see on the sideline.
Yep.
I see it with the defense. I see them keeping the offense, kind of positive.
Yes.
Great team. Now, talk about team.
Yes.
I mean, UCLA was a great part of your success, to what you're doing at Ballers.
Yes.
I know a lot of the viewers are asking me through questions through DMs about, hey, ask Donovan this question, ask Donovan that. So I'm going to actually do that today. We're going to ask some questions about how UCLA actually propelled your acting career and got you, going in the path that you were working with The Rock and everything. So let's dig deep in that.
Yes.
Talk about how you actually got to that role of Ballers and how that transpired with UCLA.
Yeah, for sure, man. First, just have an opportunity to go there and pursue, my athletic ability and then education-wise. But UCLA is actually the reason I got the opportunity, man. God's my first reason. Yeah. And then UCLA got the email about looking for former players to audition for the role. Wow. And it's one of the things, when you're young, you don't know.
How old were you during the time when you
Shoot, I was 24, 25, I think.
But walk us through even before that. What made you go back to the university to actually, seek some guidance? What was it prior to that?
I mean, honestly, just was lost, bro. My goal was to play in the NFL. That didn't work out. Was really applying for jobs and, just trying to pivot and figure out, okay, what's the next step? But being a student athlete, I didn't have any NILs how they have now. We didn't get paid like these players did today. Yeah. But being a student athlete, I didn't get a chance to have a resume, work experience. Yeah. So it's a little difficult for me finding a job. So I was like, you know what? Let me put my pride to the side. Let me go back to UCLA, man. That's home. Yeah. And you should always be welcome home with open arms. So I went back there, talked to my coaches, just put myself out there and just say, if there's any opportunities, please let me know, because I don't have nothing going on right now. Nothing's really working. So they actually put me in touch with a commercial agent. So that's how I kind of got my foot in the door. I was doing commercials, doing background, sports commercials. Yeah. And that was cool, man. I got to be on set and got to experience what that is like. But I never was like, oh, I want to be an actor. I was like, okay, commercials, cool. This is I could do 1 or 2 lines or something like that. Yeah. But then fast forward, maybe a couple weeks later, they sent me about an email about audition for Ballers. And originally when I got it, I thought it was for the wrong person, because they sent me size and lines, and I never did acting before prior to this.
Did you know that was going to be with The Rock, that show? Or?
Nah, not really. I mean, I knew he was involved. I just didn't know in what format. I thought he was just gonna be a narrator or something, because
executive producer
EP or something like that. Yeah, because Dwayne doesn't do TV. He does movies. So I didn't know what. It kind of kept the premise on hush a little bit. They just said they needed football players, so I thought it was more the commercial I was doing. They just needed football players and pads, running plays in the background. But yeah, they sent my sides. I was like, "Are you I think you sent it to the wrong person." They was like, "No, this is for you." They actually sent me Vernon and Ricky at the time, so they was whatever one, pick one that you want to do.
So walk us through the crowd who doesn't know, the Westwood Open House audience. Ricky Jarrett, right?
Yes.
Who's he played by?
He played by my boy, man, John David Washington, man. I call him JD or John David, whatever. I don't know what he go by now, but yeah, that's my boy JD, man. He's actually Denzel Washington's one of his sons.
You didn't know that? You didn't even know that he was Denzel's son for one point,
I had
right?
no idea, bro. He's really like low key, like man. JD's like one of the coolest dudes you'll ever meet, and really humble. But yeah, I had no idea who his dad was. Cause I ain't gonna lie, Washington, you know, it's a common last name.
Yeah.
And honestly, every time we had an encounter, we just talk, you know, we just talking ball, just kind of shooting and stuff. Cause he was a former football player too. He went to Campbell Hall, right out here in the San Fernando Valley. Went to Morehouse, played football there, played for the Rams on their practice squad a little bit. I think he did like USFL and NFL Europe because he's a little bit older than me. But we just was talking about ball and just was talking about like the process we was going through. Because at the time, even though his dad was who he is, he never acted before. I think he did like a small part in Malcolm X. But like he, you know, this was like a, you know, a main character. He one of the guys. So we were just talking about going through the process, and we just getting to know each other just personally. And then when I got hired for the role, they was like, oh, my dad called me. He's like, oh, Denzel's son's on the show. And I'm like, for real, like.
Talking about Zell?
I'm like, who is he? Like shit. But then I'm like, that's JD. I said, Dad. I said, your daddy's Denzel, okay. But I get it. He wants you to like, he wants to like. He's so humble. He wants to get it himself. He wanted to like really, which he did. He every time I auditioned, he was right there with me every single one.
You couldn't tell that they sound the same kind of.
Honestly, it was crazy because I couldn't tell us talking. But when he did his audition, we never was really in the same room.
Wow.
But also too, I was going through my own, you know, process in my own head, so I really wasn't like zoomed in like that. But when we did the pilot. And I went to watch his scene, and he was acting. I said, "Oh, he do sound like his daddy," which is crazy. But man, he a good dude. We had a great cast. It was a great opportunity, man. And shout out UCLA. If I didn't go there, I wouldn't have had the opportunity. And that's a big thing for like, you know, our younger viewers that are you know, especially recruiting or picking schools. The school you pick, it impacts your life. You know, you don't know that at 17, 18. You don't know that this school is like, you know, it's one of the biggest, I feel like, besides, you know, picking your wife or your partner, like picking your school, like this one of the biggest decisions you're gonna make, because it impacts you these 3-4 years you there, but also after that, like, you know, it's a family, and it's a lifetime thing, I think.
And I saw that, you know, on Saturday when we're doing the game, and I met up with you.
Yeah.
So many people recognized you, and there's so much love towards, you know, they were grateful that you played for the team, and people recognize you from the show, and it's like a lot of love. And I think that you don't get with any other universities. So that's a positive outcome, I think, on Saturday, just seeing the Bruin love there.
Nah, for sure, man. I'm just thankful that UCLA, you know, the people on the staff, you know, they thought of me, and when they got the opportunity, they sent it to some, you know, it wasn't just me. They sent it to like, I think 10, 15 former players, man. Wow. So I'm just glad, like, you know, they actually like went through the email and saw it, and I was just happy to be thought of and to do the opportunity. Then I'm glad I did it too. As well, because I feel like sometimes you get opportunities and you eliminate yourself already from it, and you don't even you know, half the battle just showing up and just doing it, man. But shout out to my parents, my dad, he influenced me. He was like, man, just go for it. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? Yeah.
Well, you know what? I can't see anyone else playing Vernon Littlefield.
Man, so. That's crazy, and that's what people say, man, which is crazy. And I see that because I watch, you know, I love television, I love movies, and I see that too. Sometimes you're like, man, I can't, because like you'll hear some stories. Sometimes you'll be like, I think even like. They said back in the day, like, Will Smith could have been Neo in The Matrix.
Wow.
And it's certain
weird.
It's certain things that you hear about, you like, they made the right decision, man. Yeah. So it was really during. I had auditioned 10 times for 3 months.
Wow.
But it was really like, it's really my road to lose. I had to earn it, but like you said, I don't think they once they seen me, they was like, okay, he got potential. I just had to like show them I could do it, because I never acted a day in my life prior to this.
Wow.
So, but I think once they see me, they was like, yeah, I think like this is Vernon, but we got to make sure he ain't gonna, you know, he gonna do his thing. But being at UCLA, man, it prepared me for all that, and that's why I flourished.
Shout out to UCLA for making this man great.
Man, changing my life.
You know what's crazy? Like, when we started shooting the pod, DC, I didn't even watch the show, man.
For real?
I didn't even watch it even one time.
Ant said he watched it, and I was playing.
No, but I did watch it after our first episode. I watched the episode where you guys were on a yacht.
Oh my God.
That was crazy, and I watched it with my wife.
Episode. Oh wow.
And
I watched it with my granny. She was like,
So all that stuff was wild to me. I'm like, dang, is that what pro players do? And it's like, wow, it's crazy.
It's crazy, man. It's a crazy lifestyle, bro. And we just, and I think that's why people love the show, because it was definitely
realistic,
pretty realistic, man. We couldn't really dive in too deep because NFL really didn't give us like the thumbs up to do it, but they knew about it and they didn't shut it down. But it was so much stuff that goes in but it's only 30 minutes, you only could do so much. But we definitely tried to impersonate the lifestyle as best as we could.
Wow. So talking about life copying with the art form,
yes,
you guys had the Raiders moving to Las Vegas even before that happened, right?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Shout out to the writers. They did an amazing job. They also they got to know us as people, and a lot of the writing I can relate, because I'm like, because a lot of people when they watch the show, they like, bro, it don't even seem like you acting like this is you.
Yeah.
But I mean, the writers just kind of knew me, knew my personality, and a lot of times they made some hypothesis on situations.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad it turned out to be like true, because I feel like that takes away from the authenticity of the show. Because when stuff happens and it's fake, then you like, oh yeah, this show isn't real. But yeah, they called out the Raiders a year before the move was actually official, and yeah, like just it was like little things like that. Also like, Dwayne bought the Kansas City Chiefs in the last season. Yeah. They ended up winning the Super Bowl. We're talking about LA, and then moving to, the Rams moving to LA, that happened, and, and all their success. So, yeah, we definitely was putting out stuff that was relevant too.
Wow. Any chance of the show coming back, DC?
I wish. But I unfortunately, I don't think so. I mean, I wish they did a spinoff. Yeah. But I don't know. Time has been. I don't know. I mean, I honestly wish they did a movie, because Entourage. Because a lot of people on our show came from Entourage.
That's true.
So they did kind of setup. Right? Yeah, same setup, exact same setup. I'll say probably 75% of the people Entourage from behind the scenes was part of our project.
Yeah, like Sheila Jeffey and all them, the producers.
Yep. The casting directors, the producers. Our creator was a producer on Entourage. Mark Wahlberg was a producer on Entourage. So I wish they did, but Dwayne's so busy, man. So it's tough to kind of like get him locked in. But you know what I'm saying? He gave us 5 years, so I'm so blessed, because Dwayne don't do TV. Wow. He do movies. This was his first TV series, but I'm just blessed he gave us 5 years, and that's a great run. Most shows usually go about 1 to 3 seasons. Yeah.
Well, you did a phenomenal job, man.
Thank you.
That, man. I'm still a little bit starstruck now. I watched the yacht scene about 2 weeks ago, and I was like, that's my boy.
Man, bro, yeah, that was a crazy episode. I had to call my dad. I said, Pops, I said, Miami is different.
Yeah.
And he like, wait, you went to college. You should. I'm like, nah, Dad, it's different. Yeah. It's different. But yeah, shout out to the whole experience, man. God is amazing. Man, go after your dreams, man. Even if people don't believe in you, go after them. You never know.
That's how we made this pod happen, man.
For real.
Manifested it.
Bro, absolutely, 100%.
You know what? Talk about a wow moment. A lot of people want to know, what was your wow moment like when you were working with The Rock? Was it kind of like, I mean, it would be nervous for me to even forget my lines sometimes if I was around The Rock.
Man, it happens, man. You know what? It happens. That's part of the thing. Thank God it's not live.
Yep.
There's takes, and there's people there to help you. But I think every time I see him, I'm like, man, because I was such a big wrestling fan. I'm like, The Rock, you know what I'm saying? The people's champ, all that stuff, man, the eyebrow. But just being around him and just working with him, but also just like holding my own too was like a wow moment. Because a lot of times I had to remember, like, you're not The Rock.
Yeah.
You're Spencer. You're my financial advisor.
Yeah.
Shit, you work for me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But nah, he was cool, man. I mean, it was one time where like it did kind of hit me.
Yeah.
Like everything hit me all at once, and I had a moment where I just was freaking out, because I'm like, oh snap. Yeah. But he took me to the side and like because he's an athlete as well. He went to the U and he played football. But he took me to the side and, you know, gave me that, like, big brother, little brother pep talk and was like, man, like, you got it, bro. We believe in you. You here for a reason.
Yeah.
So go ahead, do what you do. So I was like, all right, bet. Like, I appreciate that. And I was good to go after that.
Man, do you have him on speed dial right now?
Nah, man, I wish, bro. I wish, man. Sean, what's up, Dwayne, man? Hit me back, bro. But nah, if I see him, bro, it's love. It's love, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's love. He just real professional, you know? Like, he do his thing and he get up out of there. But I'll work with him anytime.
Yeah, we'll catch up with more stories during the season. But,
yes.
You know, let's deep dive into this week's game against LSU. Now, we're going to Happy Valley.
Yeah, Death Valley.
Death Valley, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Death Valley, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Penn State the week afterwards in the third week. We're going to Death Valley.
Yes.
What can the Bruins expect in Death Valley?
Shoot, I mean, you hear stories about SEC football, Death Valley, the fans, and it's going to be loud, but it's going to be such a great environment. This is what you dream of. This is why you go. This is what you dream of as a kid, you know, when you go to these Power 5 schools and go to these arenas. I know for me, I love playing away because there's nothing like making the crowd quiet and I want to put on a show in front of your fans and show you what we can do. But it's gonna be physical ball. They're gonna come in, they're gonna be ready. Coach Kelly gonna get them ready. They already lost to SC. I know we can't lose to 2 California teams, so they're gonna go in prepared. But we just gotta play our ball. We gotta play our style, play our game, run the ball. I saw South Carolina ran the ball pretty good on them. South Carolina really should have beat them. But they beat themselves. They let them come back, and that's one of them games you can't put your foot off the gas. Yep. You got to go in there. We got to be up 14-0 in the first quarter and let them know, like, oh wow, like they ready. Yeah. But it's gonna be a good environment. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a little warm, a little sticky. I'm gonna be out there cheering on my Bruins, having a good time.
Where you gonna be at? Are you gonna be in Baton Rouge or?
I'm in Baton Rouge, man. I mean, definitely gotta check out New Orleans though, man. Gotta get some good food, experience the culture. Yeah, some beignets for sure. But I'm expecting a good game, physical game. On both sides of the ball, and I feel like we definitely got a chance.
Yeah, Bruin hopefuls, that 25-point spread, don't let that discourage you. I think that UCLA has a great chance of competing. I'll tell you this, that South Carolina game, you watch it, 36-33.
Yes.
LSU couldn't stop the run.
Yeah.
So if we execute the run as we should, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I think that the score really doesn't say how the game was, because South Carolina really was like dominating most of the game.
Yeah.
They just made mistakes. LSU took advantage of it. So yeah, I mean, Ethan, like our leaders got to step up, man. Ethan, TJ, man, Kane, Femi, D-line, everybody got to step up, man. We got to put some pressure on them. We got to let them know like we came here to play. And like just like Indiana, like we here to kick some butt. Sure.
We gotta reverse the role now. We gotta have that mindset, right? And we're gonna say we're going to Baton Rouge and
it's a business trip.
Yeah, it's a business trip.
No beignets for them.
No beignets.
No.
Unless we win. And key players I think that we should focus on is Ethan's legs. If Ethan can run the ball and keep the defense honest, I think that'll keep the lanes open for our receivers.
I'm really waiting for my man Jay Michael to have like his breakout game, man, because he did so well last year. Did well in the bowl game. I'm really waiting for him to break out, man. Logan Lawyer, he had 1 catch last game. I feel like both them dudes, man, should get at least 5-10 target, at least 5 minimum targets a game.
Yep.
And then, but like when you run the ball, it just sets up just the window for so much more. Yep. But like any game, man, it's gonna be one in the trenches. The O-line has to go in there. They gotta take this last game personal. They gotta go in there. They gotta set the tone. D-line, we gotta go crazy, man. We gotta show them we got good players over here too.
No, I think this football team is more talented than the LSU football team at all facets, right? I just think the execution level, like Coach Foster said, if we just execute certain plays, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, football is a simple game, man. Everybody has to just do your job, and we gonna execute. And I did the same thing when I was on set. That's what I learned. Just do your job.
Do your job.
Everybody here, they professionals too. I mean, this is college. You're not professionals, but everybody got a job, man. Just do your job, do your assignment, and we gonna be okay.
Yep, we're just gonna do more, guys. So
do more.
25-point spread. My prediction: we will cover that 25-point spread.
Yes.
Right, very easily. I think Bruins have a great chance of competing, guys. This wraps up a great episode, DC. Man, you walked me through your whole life story pretty much, man. I didn't know that about The Rock and all that, man.
Hey, man, just a glimpse, you know. We'll talk about some more stuff off camera, you know.
Got you. Guys, we're going to be next week. Oh, by the way, the watch party against Penn State, we're going to actually push that towards the Rutgers game. We're going to have you guys come out to Williams Ranch over in Santa Clarita, Castaic area, and then we're going to invite you guys hot dogs, hamburgers, drinks. If you're over 21, we have a sponsor over there. So shout out to the Westwood Open House fans,
yes.
UCLA alumni for sticking in. I know that's a tough loss to take, but we have another game, and that's what Saturdays happen. And any last words, DC?
Man, you said it all, man. Y'all take care. Y'all be safe. Man, shout out Williams Ranch again. We appreciate everything y'all did. Shout out my boy Ant for bringing me on. I appreciate, man, being on this ride with you, bro.
Yeah, shout out to you and shout out to Anton, Gregory,
yes.
everyone in our back support staff, man.
Yes.
Without you guys, with the awesome editing, we would have no show. So next week, we'll be back. Hopefully it'll be a W. And this concludes another episode of Westwood Open House.
Nice.